After almost 60 years of strong bipartisan support, Congress has cut all federal funding for public media, stripping away a critical pillar of support for local stations like ours. At Vermont Public, we'll lose at least $2 million this year. If all our sustaining members increase their gift by $7 per month, we'll close that gap for good. Increase your gift today and help close the gap at vermontpublic.org/update.
From Vermont Public, this is The Frequency. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. It's Tuesday, September 23rd, and here are today's headlines. Vermont's 2 U.S. senators are demanding Republicans in Congress restore health care subsidies for millions of middle-class people. Tax credits that help people afford Affordable Care Act plans are set to expire at the end of the year. Democrats are insisting proposed legislation to extend government spending until October 31st must include a provision to renew the subsidies. Senator Bernie Sanders spoke on the Senate floor late last week, and he says action is needed now.
We cannot allow that to happen. And this is a life and death issue.
As many as 30,000 Vermonters could be affected if the tax credits expire. Republicans oppose including the premium subsidies in the spending bill. Some are considering other ways to renew them. Senator Peter Welch is urging GOP leaders to negotiate to avoid a government shutdown. Federal funding is set to expire at the end of the month. Vermont State Police are investigating a shooting incident involving a Burlington police officer. The officer shot someone Sunday night after an hours-long standoff at a housing complex. State Police did not say if the person the officer shot at was hit, but the individual is in custody and being treated for injuries. The officer is currently on paid administrative leave. The Attorney General's office and a county prosecutor will also review the shooting after state police complete their investigation. A Burlington program pays people with criminal records and addiction to stop using drugs. Participants check in at least once a week for a conversation about support services and a drug test. If they pass, they get a gift card with money on it starting at $12. Jess Kirby runs the program. She's with the organization Vermonters for Criminal Justice Reform. Kirby is in recovery herself, and she credits this approach for helping her get sober. She spoke on Vermont Edition yesterday.
I was making car payments with it and getting new clothes that I really needed. And it was actually more about how proud I felt of myself. And it felt like I was earning something and working hard. And I had a group of people that were celebrating with me. And it worked really well for me.
About 30 people have entered the program so far. The group has enough funding for 50 people. And every county in Vermont is in severe drought and fire danger is high. It comes after the state saw its driest August on record, that according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. But parts of Vermont could get up to an inch or two of rain this week. Robert Haynes is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Burlington.
Really, it's mostly going to slow things down probably rather than really turn the tide. So at least it will decelerate the trend for a little bit.
Haynes says Vermont would need 5 to 8 inches of rain to get out of the current drought. He says forecasters expect the state will see more years with extreme wet conditions followed by extreme drought because of human-caused climate change. Coming up, hoping to calm roiled waters following tariffs and threats of annexing Canada made by Donald Trump, government leaders from Vermont and Quebec recently took a boat cruise together on Lake Memphremagog. Vermont Public's Peter Hirschfeld has more about the trip after this.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency, where support comes from SRH Law, believing that values and mission still matter. When you need good counsel for your values-based work, whether it's securing our energy future, building affordable and sustainable communities, or advancing a values-led economy, they're here to help you make a difference. SRHLaw.com. Making a difference is our practice.
Vermont's relationship with its largest trading partner has never been more stressed. It's not because of any personal animosity between Vermont and Canada, but President Donald Trump's constant threat of new tariffs and his challenge to Canada's sovereignty have strained commerce and tourism in both countries. Government leaders in Vermont are doing their best to maintain ties during this difficult time. And on a perfect late summer day in Newport last week, officials from Quebec and Vermont gathered on Lake Memphremagog for a little cruise ship diplomacy. Vermont Public's Peter Hirschfeld tagged along.
Watch your head, the lake's low. Watch your head, the lake's low.
This 2-hour cruise to the U.S.-Canada border was hosted by the Vermont Agency of Commerce, and the passenger list included elected officials, municipal leaders, trade representatives, and business owners from Quebec and Vermont.
Bonjour, bienvenue. Hello, thank you. Really appreciate everyone coming today.
Deputy Secretary of Commerce Tate Brooks emphasized the importance of Vermont's business relationship with Canada and the heightened value of personal relationships in this complicated political environment.
Because we have an opportunity to hear and learn from Canadians, and we like to hope that Canadians certainly hear and learn from what we have to say as well.
Vermont, though, is contending with some powerful undercurrents that will be difficult to counteract. Renee Sylvestre is Quebec's delegate to New England.
You have to understand, we went from, let's say, a year ago, from unconditional trust to, hold on a second, it's more transactional.
Surveys show that confidence among Canadian businesses in the U.S. market has plummeted over the last 8 months. Sylvestre says he worries it'll get worse before it gets better.
Quite concerned. I really believe that we haven't seen nothing yet.
The 30 or so people aboard the boat spent most of the trip mingling over finger sandwiches and potato salad. As the vessel floated directly atop the U.S.-Canada border, Marianne Donderand, who represents the Compton-Stanstead district in the Parliament of Canada, offered optimism for the future.
And it starts from here. It starts from grassroots, and we can go through it together.
But Donderand says Canadians are hurt, and in some cases, angry.
It's a change in the relationship that we have currently between the States and Canada. It's kind of being betrayed by a friend.
Officials on both sides of the border say the economies of Canada and the United States are too intertwined to abandon the relationship. But Bernadette Jordan, the Consul General of Canada in Boston, says U.S. foreign policy has created a level of uncertainty that Canadian businesses will be inclined to avoid. She noted that Canada has free trade agreements with 17 other countries.
We have focused primarily on the United States over the last number of years, decades, and I think it's, Canadians are looking at where else they can go and where else they can sell things.
The situation is having a profoundly negative effect on businesses like Track Incorporated. It's an off-road and remote access vehicle seller that has offices in Newport, Wisconsin, and Quebec.
Let go 30% of our staff.
CEO Rick Damaris says it isn't the federal policies themselves that have hurt sales so badly at Track. It's not knowing from one week to the next what's getting tariffed and what's not.
We're just looking for stability. Settle it one way or another. Until then, our customers don't want to buy, our suppliers don't want to invest, so we're stuck in the middle.
Tim Tierney is the acting commissioner of the Vermont Department of Economic Development. He says the state is finding ways to sustain critical business relationships, thanks in part to the kind of networking going on this cruise. But he acknowledges the difficulty of the path ahead.
The investment has really slowed down on both sides, and I think that's what's is probably the scariest thing, is that if that continuation, people can't work that way. They need to know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's how economics works.
For Vermont Public, I'm Peter Hirschfeld.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency today. We had additional reporting from Bob Kinzel, Liam Elder-Connors, Michaela Lafrac, and Abigail Giles. Today's episode was edited by Stephanie Colombini, and our music is by Blue Dot Sessions. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. Talk to you tomorrow.